Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I am delivering a forecast for the week of March 31st through April 7th of 2019. So, happy month of April. It's a fresh new month. We have a new moon this week that's in the first sign of the zodiac. So, it is another new beginning astrologically for everybody. So, I am going to be covering that for all of us. And this is a general forecast that's for everybody. This is just what the weather is like this week. The cosmic weather, the energy in the air, the vibes and everything. It's not going by each individual sign. I will still be coming out with videos for each individual sign this week. I will be getting those out this week, the first week of April. I had to take a little hiatus and get away, and get some energy cleared from myself personally. So, those are still on the way. Okay. All right. So, what's going on this week? And happy April Fool's Day. Please don't play any like evil pranks on each other that are going to cause any any drama out there. I know a lot of people like to do stuff like that. If you get any text today saying, "Oh my God, I'm pregnant," with like a fake pregnancy test picture, don't fall for it, fellas. Okay. All right. Anyway, so what's going on this week? Well, we still have Venus in a square aspect to Mars. And this was like hitting us in the month of March, the whole month of March, but it was in different signs. It was in fixed signs. It was in Aquarius and it was in Taurus. But now we have Venus in Pisces and Mars in Gemini. And Venus is exalted in Pisces. People say that because Pisces is a sign that's all about unconditional love, right? It doesn't matter what your flaws are. It sees you, it doesn't see any of that. It's like it sees you as having this, beautiful light around you no matter what you do. Unfortunately, that can get a lot of people into trouble where they don't see things they're supposed to see, like red flags, you know what I'm saying? They just think someone's the most gorgeous thing on the planet when really they could be a total a-hole, or they could be a total beezy fashizi that just doesn't really care, but Venus and Pisces can make you like, oh my God, they're the greatest thing on the planet, in the universe. But anyway, so Venus is in Pisces. She's doing her thing, but she's receiving a square from Mars and Gemini. So this is still, maybe some frustration and tension between the masculine and feminine. And I've been talking about this every week. I know it's a broken record to some of you guys who follow me every week, but I will just continue to say what it is. This could be an inner conflict within yourself. We all have different levels of masculine and feminine energy within us. Venus is feminine energy, Mars is masculine. So this could be just like a back and forth between yourself on like, should you approach a situation in an aggressive way, or should you approach a situation in a more subtle, peaceful way? Okay, that could be any situation in your life. It doesn't have to mean love. These planets do have to do with love and relationships and stuff, but feminine is receptive and just chill, and Venus is all about peace and harmony, and Mars is about fighting and being aggressive and pointing fingers and stuff sometimes. So it's just like, which route should you take? That can mean with relationships, yeah, but it can also mean with work, or even like a friendship situation, just confronting something. How should you do it? So it's just finding a balance between that energy within yourself. Or, yeah, it can mean that couples are maybe going through some things still. But you know what? This week, which I'm covering the 31st through April 7th, after this week, this is going to start to dissipate. Hallelujah. Let me tell you, I am so glad. I am so happy. I'm very much ruled by Venus, and I have a heavy Mars influence too. My ascendant is co-ruled by Mars, and I have Mars conjunct my sun. So this has really been playing out in all different areas for me personally. If you are Venus ruled, Venus dominant, meaning you have a heavy Taurus or Libra influence, or maybe you have Venus just very strong in your chart. Or if you're heavy Mars ruled, if you're an Aries or a Scorpio, or you got Mars like in your first house, or like just a really big Mars influence, this is probably really like affecting you big time. because there's, the energy of what's really in your nature fighting against the energy that is opposite of your nature. And if you're heavily ruled by both, oh, child, I feel for you. Okay, so Venus and Mars are still squaring each other. But with squares, I always try to give the positive. With squares come resolution to conflicts. They can push you to be so frustrated that you're like, you know what, something's got to give. Like, I really got to do something about whatever is bothering me or whatever this situation is. So it pushes you into action. And you can combine the two. You can be firm, yet you can still be civil and try to balance things out and make sure that the end result of you being firm and pushing forward is positivity and harmony. Okay. So that's this week. If you're having issues in your relationships, just hold on because they may get better after this week, okay? Now, excuse me, we also have the sun in a square aspect to Saturn this week. Okay, so Saturn is at 19 degrees of Capricorn. Let's advance this because I personally use 8 degrees of an 8-degree orb. Orb is another little fancy astrology term. But really it means 8 degrees of separation between the planets. They move in degrees and, so this is April 1st. The sun is at 11 degrees of Aries and Saturn moves very slow, so it remains at 19 degrees of Capricorn. But throughout this week, it's going to move up to 20 degrees of Cap, nerd information right there. But they will continue to square each other. That means they are in fellow cardinal signs, yes. But anytime we have things 4 signs away from each other, they can frustrate each other. They can create a tense energy. So we have Aries, 1, 2, 3, 4, Capricorn. That's what makes a square angle. So the sun is squaring Saturn this week. So, and this is in very powerful signs. Aries is about leadership, and so is Capricorn. Aries is about leadership, like it wants to be powerful on its own and just charge full speed ahead. It has horns because it's represented by a ram. Capricorn is represented by a goat, a mountain goat that's just like, yo, we don't need to, like Aries energy is a ram that just runs and butts its head into things and it wants things done quickly. It doesn't really care about the details. It doesn't care about being meticulous. It just wants to get to its goal, like head first. Doesn't care about the consequences, anything like that. The reason why it squares Capricorn and where they differ is because Capricorn, it's a mountain goat. It has horns too, which means it could be stubborn. But it also is about climbing mountains very slowly but surely and methodically. So it's not like, it's like, okay, let's have a plan. And we have a plan to climb the mountain this way. We're going to go this route. And then we may encounter this issue and there may be this consequence. And we have to be aware of that. So let's make sure we understand all of that before we charge full speed ahead and do some stuff. So that's where they differ. That's where the energy like is frustrated with one another. They don't understand each other. Like it's like they can come together on some leadership stuff. Actually, both of these signs are rulers of the military. Saturn is more like forgive me, I'm not in the military. I don't know all the like official ranks and all that, but maybe like a general or a sergeant, like that type of a leader. And Mars is a soldier. Like Mars takes the orders. It's like, yes, sir. And then just runs out there with a gun. Yes, drill sergeant. Yes, Lieutenant Dan. Like that's Mars, right? And then Capricorn and Saturn is Lieutenant Dan. Like, okay, guys, this is what we got to do. And you're going to do, So they can work together. Even though they're squaring each other, they can work together. And the sun is very powerful too. The sun is about leadership on its own. And when it's in Aries, it's like super about that action, And so it needs to take orders from Saturn. Like, look, this is how we're going to execute things. Okay. Don't act like, and then Saturn is like the fatherly energy that's very disciplinarian. And, the sun in Aries can be very childlike. It's the first sign on the wheel. It's the baby of the zodiac. It's just like, I just want to do what I want. So these two can work together. So these are energies that are going on just in general in the air. Maybe people may be acting a little more defiant right now. Aries is very I am and my identity and me and my people and where I come from and this and that. And then Capricorn is the government. Saturn is the government. So, and I am reporting live from the hood right now, you guys. So sorry if you hear sirens in the background. Oh my gosh. I am on a little retreat getaway by myself to clear my mind and cut some ties and do all this karmic work. But it ends up that I'm staying in like this really hood area, but whatever. So sorry if you hear the sirens. Anyway, um, so yeah, if this is the government right here, this is the sun in Aries wanting to just, say, hey, I know what I'm about and I know what I want and I know what I represent. And, F the government, F the authority, um, because I don't want to listen. I just want to do what I want. But once again, like I said, these two are all about leadership. If they can stop being stubborn, they can come together and they can really execute some plans and some actions that could be beneficial to us all. So this could be wherever Aries is in your chart, wherever Capricorn, Saturn, is that in your chart, transiting right now. This is an area. These are two areas that may be conflicting with one another. Okay, so you have to work together with these areas of your chart and with these planets to figure out what you can do to like make some long-term goals. Saturn is about long-term goals and plans. And Aries energy, you can use that as action to carry it out, but make sure you understand what the plan really is and what the consequences could be if you just kind of dive in and don't really pay attention. So that's energies this week. We may see some increased rebelling against government, rebelling against authority. Okay. And there can be some grand consequences too. So if you are the type of person that really is more Mars and Aries, like you're very action oriented, you don't really care about the consequences. You just want to do, and you just allow your anger and aggression to take over. Just be mindful of the fact that you could get into some serious trouble this week. You can really have some uh, serious consequences to your actions. Okay. So just try to lay low, try to keep it cool this week if that applies to you. And try to listen. I know it's hard, especially heavy Saturnian types that are like crotchety old people that they just don't understand the youth. They don't understand you, even if you're not young. You could be younger than them. They just look at you like you're an idiot and you're a kid. You don't know anything, and you just want to fight back against that. Well, you can do that, but just make sure it's strategic, okay, so that you don't get into any major conflicts and trouble that can have long-term consequences. Saturn is like that government and that law that's like, oh, these are the laws that have been around for 200, 300 years, son. So you know what? I don't care what your reasoning is. I'm going to push through with those traditions and laws, okay? So anyway, we have that energy really building up this week, okay? So now there's also some softer energy that's happening. This is one of the only softer aspects that's going on this week, actually. We have Mercury. It is now moving forward. So it's moving up in degree. It's not retrograde anymore, so it's not going backwards in degree. So it's gonna come to 17 degrees of Pisces right here with Neptune. Here's Mercury, here's Neptune. So excuse me. This is gonna be exact on April 2nd. So let's move ahead a day. Oops, that's an hour. My bad. April 2nd. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, move back a little bit in the hours. And it could be like the early morning. As I always tell you guys, I'm on Pacific time. I'm on the west coast of the USA. So it looks like super early in the morning on April 2nd. If you're in my area of the world. But okay, so it's exact about, okay, like right before 2 a.m. Pacific time. So anywhere east of that, it's going to be just on April 2nd. Okay, so look at this. They're exact. Now, what I do is I look at not only the 17, but I look at the next number over. That's how you get like the down to the nitty gritty, like exact nerdy calculations and stuff. Okay, this is called a degree of arc, just for like nerdy lingo terms. Okay, so Mercury conjunct Neptune. Now, this is a repeat aspect, you guys. This is not the first time we're having this aspect within the last like month or two, actually. The first time we had this aspect, Mercury was in shadow, and it was on February 19th. And then the second time, it was when Mercury was retrograde, and it was on March 24th. So if you had anything going on around those dates, if you even, document your life in that way, or if you even pay attention to time in that way and dates, and if your memory is that good, remember back to those dates and figure out, were you confused about anything? And it's important to know where Pisces is in your natal chart, what house it is, to know what it means for you. And once again, I will be offering you guys some monthly readings for your sign to explain this even further. Okay, this week I will have those out. So, Mercury conjunct Neptune is Mercury's the mind, Neptune is confusion. It's the spirit world. It's the spirit realm. It is spirituality. It's also art, like creativity, divine creativity that just comes from out of nowhere. It's like really being, when people are space cadets, people say, "Oh, you're such a space cadet. Your head's always in the clouds. You see things through rose-colored glasses. You're not always in tune with reality." That's Neptune all day. Neptune is a ruling planet of Pisces. So imagine when it's in its home sign, like it's like super Piscean, super Neptunian. It's like super potent with what it represents. And then we have Mercury. This is our communication, our thoughts, our speech. Even when you DM, you text message, you email, Mercury rules all of that. So, this can be some losses. Neptune, it doesn't give one crap about the material world. It doesn't give any craps about what goes on here on Earth. It's just like, la, 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 I just want to be out there somewhere else. Okay, so that's Neptune. So our heads can be in the clouds. We can be seeing things through the eyes of visionaries, which can be awesome for you if you are in the line of work, or, some sort of field with what you do on the side as a hobby, or just who you are as a person. Like if you're just able to be an artist and just be you and create, and just, or you're a spiritualist, this is a really dope transit. Your powers, your creativity are going to be super potent. Pay attention to your dreams right now. Everybody, it doesn't matter if you're an artist, a creative, a spiritualist or not. Everybody, pay attention to your dreams. Neptune rules dreams. The dreams you have when you're asleep, you can have very vivid ones. They can have messages. They can have messages from loved ones, from the spirit realm, the angelic realm, whoever looks out for you, whoever guides you. If you dream about any particular people, there could be some real deal messages within that right now. So make sure you document them, you journal them, make a little audio recording of yourself talking about your dream that you had. They could really have some profound, messages within them. But also, yes, this is great for writing poetry, writing songs, performing, dancing, anything creative. This is a really good transit. It's your abilities will be on point. But for all the practical real world stuff, we will still be within the week, the work week, the Monday through Friday rat race. So if you are a worker that has that type of work, that type of schedule, just be mindful of the fact that people may not be paying attention when they're driving, number one, because they will be distracted. Their minds will be off in la la land somewhere. Number two, be aware that practical world things, you can lose your keys, you can lose your glasses, your wallet, your debit card, all of that. Number three, information. Mercury rules the transmitting of information and data. So you can lose track of stuff like that very easily. That can mean files within your devices. That can mean paperwork. And also, number four, unfortunately, this energy, Pisces and Neptune, can rule deception, and Mercury can rule trickery. Every planet, every sign has a good and bad side, okay? So there can be people trying to put one over on you, pull the wool over your eyes, all those little old school sayings that mean they're trying to scam you, they're trying to jack you, they're trying to, you know, steal from you. Like people could be on their swindle game like heavy right now. People can just really be, trying to give some sob stories that are tricking you into things, into giving them money or doing things for them when really they're doing just fine. People can be lying, like big time liars, right now, just spitting out whatever and don't not even caring if it's true or not. Don't let anybody try to fool you or deceive you, okay? Because this can make you think twice and be like, well, maybe, and give the benefit of the doubt. Because this is a very sweet energy too. Neptune and Pisces are very, like, high, loving of others, loving of people no matter what, loving of all beings. And, it's the last sign on the zodiac wheel. So it is like just letting everything from the rest of the wheel go and just wanting to vibrate nothing but love. I think I told you guys, gave you guys this example before, but on The Simpsons, a long time ago, there was this episode where Mr. Burns accidentally, you know, took a dip in a lake that was toxic with waste from the power plant. And then he was glowing and in a robe, and he was like, I bring you love. I bring you love. Like, and he was like this weird being that everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's here to just spread love. I don't know. It was really weird. Anyway, that's what this makes me think of. And yes, I'm weird. Sorry. But that's what this conjunction makes me think of. What a lot of people's attitudes will be. So it is great for just giving unconditional love to people and not letting any boundaries get between you, loving people. But once again, that can get you in trouble. Okay. I saw this headline earlier, just very briefly, that said like some guy, I don't know who he is, maybe he's like a famous person too. He was like giving Beyonce, he was getting a little too feely with Beyonce, like giving her kisses, and she's just like, okay, I think that's enough, buddy. I'll have to go and look at that story in more detail, but that is something that could be very Mercury Neptune. Mercury rules the hands and, short movements and stuff, and Neptune sees no boundaries. Okay, so people could be a little too touchy feely. So try not to be that way. Try to see the boundaries if somebody has a relationship that they're in and you know about it. Sometimes people will be like, I don't care if you're in a relationship. I just want to dissolve that boundary and I want you to myself. So that's Mercury conjunct Neptune. Once again, it's really strong on the 2nd of April, really early in the morning, or it could be April 1st elsewhere, Anyway, okay, so what else do we have going on? We have the South Node, and actually they don't show the South Node on here. Why do they not? That's so stupid. Okay, um, let's see, 23 degrees. Okay, so we have the South Node in a conjunction with Pluto. Now, this is happening. Oops, this is happening on April 4th. Okay, so this is happening on April 4th. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I'm sorry. So April 4th. So, well, here's the North Node, 23 and 3 degrees of Cancer. So that means the South Node is exact opposite. So even though it's invisible on here, South Node conjunct Pluto. And it is technically in a conjunction with Saturn too, but it's exact with Pluto in Capricorn on April 4th. Okay? So there's so much I could say about this, but this is becoming very long and I'm running out of time. But what I will say is this, the South Node is excretion of things. And I know that word could be very nasty, but it's getting rid of things. It is, letting go of things. It is converting things into something. Um, so the South Node is like past karma too. So it's in a conjunction with Pluto and Capricorn. Now Pluto and Capricorn once again, it rules the government, elders, older people, traditions from a long time ago, people in positions of power that just look down upon everyone else, and they can look down upon everybody else in a very negative way, I will admit. But so it's the government and all the old heads, okay, that rule society and all of the societal constructs, if that makes sense. So the South Node here is wanting to get rid of something that has to do with this. So there could be even more. I think this week can be hot for people rebelling against government or society wherever you are in the world, or public figures. There could be some public figures that are leaders that are passing away. I hate to predict death and stuff like that, and I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but it's something that's a high probability at this time. Saturn is in its home sign of Capricorn. It rules Capricorn, and the South Node is technically, in the mix with that too, but it's exact with Pluto, which can rule death and transformation and a cutting off and a getting rid of something in a very drastic way. Unfortunately, this is building as I'm recording this. It's exact on April 4th, but it's building up right now. And I just learned this morning that Nipsey Hussle, who is a rapper, an American rapper, he is a leader in his community now. He used to be involved in gangs and stuff, but he's now like a community leader. He's trying to. I'm wondering if he has some Capricorn in his chart. I haven't looked at his chart yet, but he may have some Capricorn because he's about serious leadership and building up of community. So he may have some Aquarius and some Cap in the mix in his chart. But anyway, he was unfortunately pretty much assassinated in front of his own business. Capricorn rules business. Okay. He did purchase a building, a plaza, I think it was a plaza or a building. Capricorn rules that stuff. And he was in power and in control of that. And he was taken out, and I really think this conjunction has something to do with that, unfortunately. I'm talking about this after the fact. I would never want to predict anything bad happening to anyone, but I feel like this week is kind of hot for stuff like that. So just watch out if you are someone who is considered to be a leader or in a position of power. And if there's people that want to fight and rebel against what you do, they want to battle against what you do, just watch yourself, okay? And also don't forget if you are someone who's more the rebellious, like the Aries type, um, just make sure that if you are rebelling, that it is something that is structured and you understand the consequences and you're protected as well. Okay. But the South Node and Pluto, this is like, or this could be just people saying no more about something that's corrupt, about the government, or about whatever or whomever rules over them. It can even be at your job, your bosses. Capricorn rules bosses, leaders, owners of businesses. This could be something that is trying to be transformed or gotten rid of. This can be gotten rid of, doesn't have to mean something negative either. It could be wherever Capricorn is in your chart, you're getting rid of your ways of doing something. It's a deep transformation, and it could be very sudden. It could be yeah, just wherever it is in your chart, it's you transforming something, and that does mean you have to get out, like out with the old, and it could be very karmic in some sort of way. Okay, so last but not least, we have a new moon in Aries, guys, and this is on the 5th of April. I think it's like super early in the morning. And once again, I look at yeah, it's on April 5th. So, yeah, it's when the sun and moon are at the same degree. So they're going to be at 15 degrees of Aries. And okay, we look at these numbers too. So yeah, okay. So early in the morning on April 5th, West Coast time, but it could be, April 4th, anywhere else. So this is when we have a new moon in Aries. And this is a brand new beginning. Once again, the astrological wheel starts with the sign of Aries. So this is a new beginning somewhere. And it can be a fresh start. You can really, Aries energy, when I think of Aries, I think of people who like to just get up early in the morning and just start running. They're the people that are early birds. They're runners. They go to the gym at 4 a.m. And I'm not saying everybody who's an Aries does that. And everybody that does that has to be an Aries. But Aries rules that though. Mars rules that too. So, if you do stuff like that, you probably have a heavy Aries or first house or Mars energy in your chart. Okay. Anyway, that's what Aries energy makes me think of. Or someone who gets up super early to go hiking. They get to the top of the mountain, they look down and they're like, yeah, I made it, and then they run back down. So that's how we could be feeling about a fresh start somewhere in our lives. So this is in general what we're feeling. And of course, wherever Aries is in your natal chart, that's how this is going to feel for you with having a fresh start. It can be with your work, it could be with relationships, it could be with communication, it could be with education, it could be with anything. And then this new moon is making a square aspect to Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and also to the, to the south node and north node. So it's forming a T-square with the nodes, which are karma. So there's something that's still very karmic that has to be like released before you can have this fresh start. And it can be kind of frustrating, but you know what? It's things that have to happen. And it is squaring off with these powerful planets and the signs that rule the government and authority, but also these rule long-term plans and goals, like I mentioned earlier. So there's something that you want to just like jump out there and just do, but you have to understand that there has to be a plan to things. And you have to, that's the way that you should go about things. Okay. That's like the quickest and easiest way for me to explain this new moon in Aries, you guys. Um, don't go head be the ram that's head first into a wall and then keeps butting your head and keeps butting your head and wondering why. The walls are Capricorn, so work with the wall. If you need to break down a wall, figure out how you can do it brick by brick, step by step, or slowly, like, um, come up with a plan for breaking it down rather than just keep bumping your head and it doesn't get anywhere. So just use that metaphor, if you will, with different areas of your life. And that's what the new moon is about for you. Okay. So that's it, you guys. I've got to dip out. I got to get back home from being out of town. Uh, and I got to get your month of April overview for everybody recorded, and also for each individual sign. I will have those, and they are for purchase. For everybody, I do put them at a very cheap price, and I go into lots of detail, and they're at least like 30 minutes or more long for every sign. So thank you guys so much for watching and for rocking with me always. Don't forget, you can hit up my website if you would like a personal reading. If you would like me to just type or text out something very quickly to you within like 24 to 48 hours, hit me up on Instant Go, which is an app that's only for iPhone, I think, right now. But I think I have a link in my description box for that too. Okay, so peace out, everybody, and have a good week and be safe out there.